Hey, welcome everybody. Here we are with a basically 3-inning video of Statis Pro Baseball. This is the 1985 board, 84-85 board. I guess I guess it was available in 86 for the 85 season. I was doing an 85 Yankees I'm still doing an 85 Yankees replay, but here we've come up to 2021. We're going to do the game played last night, Saturday, between the Giants and the Dodgers, and it's the Dodgers at San Francisco. Betts, Seager, and Turner for LA. Justin Turner, cleanup, and then it's Smith and Taylor. Bellinger, Pollock, and Urias for the Dodgers, and for the Giants it's Ruff, Bryant, and Slater, the outfielders. Posey, the catcher, batting cleanup. Flores, Crawford, and Longoria, and then it's Solano at second base and Gausman, the pitcher. Let's start playing a little Statis Pro Baseball. We're going to pull cards. We're going to use a card activated system. So let's do that. All right, so we're looking for the 7 now. It's Betts who's up. He is the visiting team, so Betts is up. Mookie Betts will be facing will be facing Gausman right here. You go across, something I'm not too crazy about, but it is what it is. So you do go across, and Betts is a righty, so 2 to 7. We pulled up a 7, so that's going to be off the pitcher's card. Let's pull a card and look for a number. It's 18, and that's going to be a line drive to right. So Betts hits one the opposite field for a single. And we got our first base runner. Now we're going to reduce the pitcher is number by, he's got 11 points, 11 reduction points. So now he's got 10. And the hit was off the pitcher card, so we're not going to check for an error on that. All right, so here's Corey Seager. Let's pull a card, see what happens. See which card we're going to look at. Will it be the batter's card or the pitcher's card? And that's an 8. Seager is a lefty, so that will be off Gausman. And it's a 62, and that will be an out. What kind of an out? Corey Seager is an LP, so that's a fly ball for everybody. That's left field. Right there is Ruff, and he makes the catch. Ruff. All right. Next up is Trey Turner. We're using actual lineup. Still a runner on first base. That's a 10. So that's going to be on Turner's card against a righty pitcher. So we're going to look at this column. And it's going to be a 44, and that is a deep drive off the bat of Turner. Left field, back goes Ruff to the track, looks up, and it's gone. 2-0. Dodgers. So Trey Turner connects on that 44 number. If you look here against a righty, it falls onto the home run. And it's a 2-run home run for Trey Turner. And now that's 2 runs and another hit, so that's going to be -3. 1, 2, 3. So now we're down to 7. And next up is Justin Turner. That's a 6. He's a righty, so that's going to be off Gausman. And a 74, that'll be an out. And he's an RP, and that will be a line out right back to the pitcher. L1. That's 2 outs. And here's Will Smith, the catcher, right-handed hitter. That's a 6. That's off Gausman. A 47 will be a swing and a miss. Strikes him out, and that retires the size. But they do get to Gausman here. And they score 2 runs on 2 hits. The 2-run shot by Trey Turner. And we move to the bottom of the first inning playing Statis Pro Baseball. All right, it's going to be Julio Urias, the lefty, versus Darren Ruff, the righty. We're going to pull a card. So versus a righty, we got 2 to 8, and we got a 3. So it's going to be off Urias against a righty, and it's going to be a 68. That's an out. The batter's an RP, so that's bounced to third. We got to check for the error, and no error, so it's a ground ball, 5-3. And that's 1 away. Now, when I keep my scorecard, I don't write 5-3 because that's ink I'm wasting. I just write G3. You could just write out or O, That's another way to save even more ink. But I still like a decent description, but without going overboard. I don't have a good, let me see, let me just adjust this just a little bit here. There we go. All right. So who's up now? It's Chris Bryant is up against Urias, the lefty. Pull a card, it's a 70. I'm sorry, it's a 7, so that's going to fall within the 2 and the 8 versus a righty. So we're looking off of Urias' card. And that's a 66 will be an out. He's an RP as well, and that's going to be a ball that's a little number right in front of the plate. Out from behind the plate is the catcher, Smith, and he throws to first to get the Speedy Bryant. 2 down. And next is Austin Slater. These are the 2021 cards. That's a 5, so that's going to be off Urias against a righty. An 81, that'll be an out, kind of an out. He's an RN. That's going to be right back to the pitcher. Check for the error. No error. Now, one thing, one of the reasons I like playing these older games is for the, the kind of the flavor of it all, the charm. And one thing that is really a fail on this game, but it's part of the charm, is that there's a lot of ground outs to the catcher. So what I do is I make 1 ground out to the catcher. After the first one, I make all the rest of the ground outs to the catcher, ground outs back to the pitcher, back to the mound. All right, so no runs, no hits, and at the end of 1, it's 2-0 Dodgers. All right, and we got Chris Taylor coming up. He's in center field today. Plays all over the place. All right, here's Kevin Gausman to Chris Taylor. It's a 4, so it's going to be off Gausman. And a 34, and that is a strikeout. So he strikes out Taylor, who heads back to the bench with a bat on his shoulder. And next is a 6. That's going to be off Gausman. A lefty this time, and a 38. And that's a check swing. They check with the umpire, and he rings him up, and Bellinger doesn't like it. Doesn't agree with that call. That's 2 away. Back-to-back Ks. Actually struck out 3 in a row if you go back to the first inning. And here is, where's Pollock? Let me see. Pollock should be up now. A.J. Pollock. There he is. And here's the pitch from Gausman. And, that is a 10, so it's going to be off Pollock against a righty. And it's a 67. That will be an out, kind of an out. He is an RP, and that will be a ball hit right back to the pitcher. Check for an error. No error, and that retires the side. So 1-2-3 inning in the top of the second for Gausman, and we move to the bottom of the second. It's going to be Posey, Flores, and Crawford. Here's the pitch from the lefty, the southpaw, Julio Urias. That's an 8, and that will be off Urias' card. Posey, of course, is a righty, a 72, and that's an out. He's an RP, and an RP says it's grounded to short. We'll check the error, no error. So a ball that's hit to Seager, and he plays it easily to get Posey. Wilmer Flores, the ex-Met, stepping to the plate. He's a right-handed hitter. Let's see which card we'll read. Here we got these are newer cards. You can get these new on eBay. That's an 11, so it will be off Flores against the lefty. And a 76, that will be an out. He's an RP, and that will be bounced to short. Check for the error. No error. So back-to-back ground outs to the shortstop, Seager. And next up is Brandon Crawford. That's an 8. He's a lefty, so that it will be off Urias. A 13, lefty against lefty on a 13. Here you can see the, I don't know, can you see it? Yeah, you can. This is the factor, lefty versus righty splits, and a 13 is a strikeout, and that ends the inning. So lefty pitchers get a big advantage against lefty batters. And that's pretty much the way it is in actuality. All right, top of the third. And it's going to be the bottom. Well, the pitcher starts us off, and then we go to the top of the lineup. So it's going to be Urias, Betts, and Seager against Kevin Gausman. Let's do this. All right, let's pull a card. Urias bats from the left side. So we do it again. A 7, so that will be off Gausman's card. And it's a 72 versus a lefty. That's an out. He's an LN, and that will be a fly out, shallow right for out number 1 here in the top of the third inning. It's 2-0 Dodgers. 2-run homer by Trey Turner is how the Dodgers score their runs. Betts is up, and a 2, that will be off Gausman. So we're looking at the right-handed column, a 35, and that will be a swing and a miss. Strikes him out. That's a fourth strikeout by Gausman. Next is Corey Seager. Pull a card, and that's a 6. It will be Gausman against a lefty, against his lefty column, a 78. That's an out. He's an LP. That's a foul ball. And the first baseman has plenty of room, makes the catch, and that retires the side. 3 up and 3 down for Kevin Gausman here in the top of the third. We go to bottom of the third. The Giants are trailing 2-0. Evan Longoria is leading off against Urias, the left-hander. That's a blank. Pull another card. That's a 7, so it will be off of Urias. And a 51 is an out. That's an RP, and that's a pop-up to first base. Donovan Solano up next. A 6. So that will be off Urias, 46, and that's ball 4. So Solano walks. He's on at first, and here's... No, Lestella's not there. Lestella comes in later as a pinch hitter, I believe. All right, Kevin Gausman. And we will bunt with him. What kind of bunter is he? He's a CC bunter. You look at the chart up here, a CC. Going to pull a card, pull a number, and it's a 52, and that is a lead runner tagged out, catcher to lead base. So it's a 2-6. It's a fielder's choice for Gausman, who fails to move the runner up, fails to do his job. All right, and it's going to be Darren Ruff with 1 on and 2 out in the bottom of the third inning. Scores 2-0 Dodgers. Darren Ruff bats from the right side. And that's going to be a BD, is called a clutch batting. It only works when there's a runner on base. So his clutch batting, we're going to use these numbers here. We're going to pull a card. That's a 16, and that's a drive in the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. And with 2 outs, we get a plus 20. Let's see who... don't remember how to see who that's hit to. So let's just roll a die. 1, 2, left field, 3, 4, center field. Okay, it's hit the center field. And the center fielder's arm rating is Chris Taylor. Let's check his arm rating. Chris Taylor's arm rating is a T2, so let's write that there. Taylor's a T2, and the base runner is Gausman. Probably not very good. Base running is let's see, his OBR they call it is a B. That's not bad. So his is a B, and we're going to check now. So a T2 going from first to home with 2 outs, we'll get a plus 20. A B, it's going to be 11 to 62. So we're going to try to send Gosman home, and he is safe. RBI double for Ruff. Score is 2-1. And next up is Chris Bryant. Tying run is at second base. And that was a walk. I never bothered to move the reduction, reduce him by a point, and now the double and a run, 2 more, so he's to 8. All right. So it's going to be Chris Bryant, the righty, versus Julio Urias, the lefty, here in the bottom of the third. The score is 2-1, Dodgers. But the tying run is at second base with Ruff. We're going to pull a card and see who it's going to be off of. It's 4, so it's going to be off of Urias, and a 55, and that's going to be an out. He's an RP. That's a bouncer to second. Let's see if the second baseman Turner handles it cleanly, and he does. Trey Turner fields the ball over to first, and that retires the side. They strand the tying run at second base, but they do pick up a run. 1 run on a hit and a walk, and the score after 3 is 2-1. And this is Statis Pro Baseball. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Check it out. 2021 playoffs, last night's game. And let's continue in the top of the 4th with our game. I reshuffled the cards, and it is Trey Turner versus Kevin Gosman. And that's going to be a 6, so he's a righty, so that's on Gosman's card. Number is going to be a 38, and that is a strikeout. So Gosman strikes out Trey Turner, who homered last time up. Next is Justin Turner. That's a 10. This will be off Turner's card. And that is a 64, which will be an out. 61 to 88 is an out. He's an RP. That's grounded to second base. Let's check for an error because there's an asterisk. And there is no error. So it's bounced to second, picked up by Solano. And Solano throws out Justin Turner. And here's Will Smith. It's a 6, so that will be off Gosman. A 36, and that is a strikeout. So a couple of strikeouts for Gosman. And we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Scores 2-1. Dodgers. It's Dodgers at Giants, replaying the game that we watched the other night on TV. It's Julio Urias is on the mound for the Dodgers. He will be facing Slater. Austin Slater. Here he goes. Going to pull a card. It's a 6, so that will. Slater's a righty, so that'll be off of Urias, and a 14. So it's a righty. He's a lefty versus a righty, and a 14 will be a hit. So right-handed, left-handed pitcher. Yep, it's going to be a base hit. That's a 14, and that will be off the. We said it was off the pitcher's card, right? Yep. So we don't have to check for an error on that. So it's a single for Slater. He's on at first. And let's see Slater's stolen base ability. He is, let's see, SP. Does not have a very good SP. So here is Posey. Going to subtract 1 from Urias for allowing a base runner. Here's Posey. That's going to be an unusual play, so I'm going to bypass that. I'm not doing. This is a BD. So it's clutch batting. We're going to roll down here, and it's going to be a 78, which is going to be an out. A 78 is an out, and kind of an out. He's an RP. That's going to be a line out to short. L6. So Posey lines out to the shortstop. Seager. And here comes Wilmer Flores. Pitch is a 7. That's on Urias. I'm going to pull a number, and a 72. That's an out. Kind of an out. He is an RP batter. So that's going to be a pop-up to the catcher. That's 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. and it's a 5. So we're looking at Brandon Crawford. He's a left-hander. It is off Urias, and it's a 72. That'll be an out. He's an LP, and that is a pop-up to the right side. The first baseman is there. No error on that. And that retires the side. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we move to the top of the 5th inning. All right, Kevin Gausman to Chris Taylor. Taylor's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. It's a 9. Taylor's a righty, so it's going to be off Taylor. And that's an 85, which will be an out. Kind of an out. He is a RP. Bouncer to third. See if there's an error. No error. So it's ground out to third base, and that is Longoria. Throws out Chris Taylor. Cody Bellinger. Bellinger struck out. That's an 8. He's a lefty, and that will be off Gausman. A 76 is an out. He's an LP. That's a ball hit back to the pitcher. And error's 5. Wait a second. Ball hit back to the pitcher, and it's a 5-10. Gausman's strikeout rating, error rating is a 3, so he does not make the error. Feels it cleanly and throws out Cody Bellinger for out number 2. Next is Pollock. It's an 11. That will be off Pollock's card. A 77. That will be an out. He's an RP. That's a bouncer to third. And bouncer to first, and easy play for the first baseman to retire the side. So that's 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And it's 2-1 Dodgers, and it's Longoria, Solano, and Gausman. 6. All right, so that's going to be off Urias. And a 78 is an out. He's an RP, and it's a fly ball to center field. That's 1 away. Under it is Taylor. Solano's up next, a 7. A 44, and that is a strikeout. Swing and a miss. Solano's down on strikes, and here's the pitcher, Gausman. It's an 8. He is he's a lefty. Bats lefty. So it's a blank, and the number is an 82, and that will be an out. He's an LN, and that'll be a pop-up to the first baseman to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 5th to go to the top of the 6th inning. 2-1 Dodgers. Urias, the pitcher's up. Gausman checks in, winds and deals. That's a 6. That'll be off Gausman. And Urias is a lefty, a 46. And that's that's a potential wild pitch. You're going to do it again. That's an 8. Gausman. A 38 against the lefty, and that is a strikeout. So he strikes out the pitcher, Urias. All right, top of the order now with the 1 out. Betts. There's a BD, but that has to be runners on base. We're going to pull a card. It's a 3. Betts is a righty, and it's a 14, and righty on righty. 14 will be a base hit. Base hit into left field, so it's a single for Betts. He's on at first. He's got good speed, but I won't be base stealing. All right, now it's okay base stealing speed, not great. Next up is Corey Seager. That's a clutch defense. So we're going to look at clutch defense. We're going to pull a card. It's to the shortstop. Shortstop's clutch rating, Crawford, probably decent. He's a pretty good defensive player. His clutch rating is a 4. Mine only goes, this is the 85 board, and this is probably like the 88 board information, so I'm going to use my 2 column. I'm just going to pull a number and see what happens. It's a 54, and a 54 is no action occurs, return to normal play. So I'm going to pull another card. Again, Seager's up. That's an 8. Seager is a lefty, and that'll be on Gosman's card. A 13, lefty on righty on lefty. Yep, righty on lefty, and that's going to be a base hit off Corey Seager. So we're going to have to pull a card for an error, no error. So it's a single. Runner will stop at second base since it's hit to left field. Just play it safe right now. Trey Turner's up next, so we're going to move that down, another reduction. That's a 7 for Trey Turner. He's a righty, and it's a 72. Some kind of an out. He's an RP. That's a fly ball. Lifted to right field. Over Slater near the line, and he runs it down. That's 2 away. And here comes Justin Turner. That's a 3. And a 37 will be a swing and a miss, and Turner goes down on strikes to end the inning. But no runs on 2 hits, 2 left, and we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's going to be top of the order, Ruff, Bryant, and Slater. Let's do it. Here goes Urias to the righty. And that's going to be off Urias, and a 47, and that's going to be a foul ball. Do it again. A CD, no good. Do it again, and a 9. That will be off Darren Ruff against the lefty, and an 18, and that is a drive down the line. Fair ball. Kicks up some chalk. And into second base with a leadoff double is Ruff with the tying run at second base. Darren Ruff gets a hold of a slider that hangs up there, and he drives it down the line. And it just was fair. Hit the chalk. And here's Bryant. We're going to reduce Urias by 1, and that was, we're going to check for an error. No error there, and let's see, Bryant, let's go. It's a 5, so that's going to be off Urias' card, and a 44 off Urias is a strikeout. So Bryant swings at a ball outside of the zone for out number 1. Next is Slater. Slater's a righty. That's a 7. And a 15. Ooh, this could be a base hit to center. Left, yep, it's going to be a base hit to center. Now, Ruff, let's see, Ruff's speed. Ruff is a C. And whatever it is. Okay, let's see, we may have a play at the plate. The center fielder is Taylor. He's a T2. And a C, it's 1 to 52. 11 to 52, he is safe. Anything higher than that, he's out. You know what? I'm going to try to hold him up. If there were 2 outs, I'd definitely try to score him. But runner on third now. First and third. Bottom of the 6th inning. And you know what? I think who's coming up? Buster Posey's coming up, and it's time for a relief pitcher. That's right. We'll be back. All right, we are back with a little Status Pro baseball, and we got Zach Littell in for the Giants, and it's Joe Kelly in for the Dodgers. It's going to be Brandon Crawford, Evan Longoria, and Solano. I don't know what his first name is. I don't remember. In the bottom of the seventh, but right now we're in the top of the seventh. And in the top of the seventh, it's going to be Will Smith, followed by Taylor, and then Bellinger. And the pitcher is going to be Zach Littell. So let's do this. Let's pull a card. We are in the top of the seventh inning. The score is 2-1. 2-1 Dodgers. All right, this is a 7. So he's a righty. It's going to fall on the pitcher card so that we don't have to check, in case it's a single, we don't have to check for an error. It's a 24, and that will be a strikeout. So Littell strikes out Will Smith. Next is Chris Taylor. We pull a card. It's a 7. Excuse me. That again, he's a righty. That's going to be off Littell, and it's a 28, and a 28 will be a strikeout again. So he strikes out back-to-back batters. And we go to Corey Bellinger. He's a lefty now, and that's a 7 again, but this time it's only 2-6 against a lefty. So we're going to look at Bellinger versus a righty, and it's going to be a 16, and that is a base hit. And not only is that, he's going to try for 2, and here's the throw to second. He slides, and he is safe with a double. And that's off Bellinger, so we're going to check for the error. And there is no error, so it's a 2-out double for Corey Bellinger. Excuse me, and here's Pollock, A.J. Pollock, playing Statis Pro Baseball, and here is, we move that down 1. All right, let's pull a card. It's going to be A.J. Pollock. He's a right-handed hitter. A 7 against righty. That will be off Littell, and a 48 will be a wild pitch. Going to third is Bellinger. So 2 outs, runner on third. And that would be a great insurance run for the Dodgers here in the top of the 7th. The score is 2-1 L.A. And it's Pollock is still at the plate. 2 outs, runner on third. Here's the pitch. That's a 5. Again, that's going to be off Littell. The right side, a 32, and that's strike 3, and he gets them. And we move to the bottom of the 7th, a 2-1 ball game. That's no runs on 1 hit, 1 left. And we move to the bottom of the 7th. It's going to be Crawford, Longoria, and Solano. It's going to be Joe Kelly. Here's the pitch to Brandon Crawford, a lefty. That's a 7, and that's going to be, it's only 2-6 there. So we're going to look at Crawford's card, a 41, and that's going to be a deep drive off the bat of Crawford, way back right field, and that ball is gone. Game is tied. Brandon Crawford connects and ties the game here in the leading off the bottom of the 7th inning. And next up is Evan Longoria. And here's the pitch. There's nothing there. Going to pull another card. Oh, and we have to move these. Actually, we moved 2 on that. So he's down to 1. And I guess that will be it for Kelly. He can maybe, we're going to let him go 1 more. Longoria, and let's see. We pulled 1 there. Pulled a 7 against a righty. That will fall on Kelly's card. And a 62 is an out. He's an RP, and that will be a bounce to short charged by Seager, and Seager throws out Longoria for the first out. Next up is Donovan Solano. Let's pull a card. That's an 8. He is a righty, so that will be off Kelly. A 43 will be ball 4, and that will be it for Kelly. And it's the pitcher coming up. Now, that's Littell. So Littell already pitched an inning. We're going to get a pinch hitter here. We'll be right back. This is a great old school game. So we're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Lamont Wade Jr. coming in to pinch hit against Phil Bickford. Phil Bickford is going to have a reduction rate of 3. And let's do this. There's a runner on first base. There's 1 out. It's Solano in first. He walked. And Kelly basically went 1 inning. And he's given up a run so far, the tying run, a home run by Brandon Crawford in the bottom of the 7th. The game is tied at 2 apiece. We're going to pull a card. Here's a pitch from Bickford. Now with a runner on, it's CD. And let's see who the CD is about. It's going to be, what does that mean? Oh, the catcher. Let's see what the catcher is. The catcher is going to be Smith. And Smith is a 4, so we'll use a 3. I gotta update my board because the new boards have all the way to 4 or 5 in clutch defense. So I'm going to use a 2, outfielder, infielders only, catchers only. Let's pull a card and see what happens. And that's a 75, and that will be a diving catch of a pop fly, lead runner doubled off, and that ends the inning. So a great play, a little pop-up off the bat of Wade, and diving for it is the catcher Smith. He gets up, fires to first, and that's a double play. So it's a 2-2-3 double play. And that ends the inning. But the Giants pick up a run on the home run by Brandon Crawford, and they've tied it up at 2 apiece. We go to the top of the 8th inning. And we're going to bring in a pinch hitter. Be right back. Okay, so it's going to be Matt Beatty in a 2-2 tie here in the top of the 8th inning. He's going to come in to pinch hit for, who was that? Bickford. And we're going to get a new pitcher as well for San Francisco, and it's going to be Dominic Leone. Dominic Leone is a 7 reduction rate points. So we put that at 7, and we got Matt Beatty. He bats from the left side. Here goes, and that's a 7 against a lefty. That's going to fall on Leone's card, and a 23 is going to be a strikeout. So down swinging goes Beatty for out number 1 here in the top of the 8th inning. Mookie Betts is next. That's a 12, so that'll be off Betts. He's a righty. So we're looking right here, and that's a 66. That's going to be an out. He's an RP. That's going to be bounced to first. Check for the error. No error. And that's picked up by the first baseman, Flores, who steps on the bag. That's 2 away. And here is Corey Seager. Corey Seager bats from the left side. Dominic Leone is ready. And here's a pitch. It's a 7. He's a lefty, and that falls within Leone's range. 2-8. And that's a 54, which will be an out, and it's an LP. That will be bounced to short. Charging hard is Brandon Crawford. He makes the play, and that retires the side. G3. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning, all tied at 2. This is, I believe, game 3 or game 2. I can't remember which game I'm replaying one of the games. It's taken me 3 days to do that. So we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's going to be a new pitcher for the Dodgers. It's going to be Brusdar Gratterall. Not easy names to pronounce. He's going to face Darren Ruff. Let's do this. That's a 7. So that will be, he's a righty. That will be off Gratterall, a 37, and that will be a foul ball. Do it again, a 12. This will be off Ruff, and a 36, and that is versus a righty pitcher. That's going to be a strikeout. 1 away. Darren Ruff strikes out. And here's Chris Bryant. Going to pull a card. He's a righty. This is going to be off Gratterall, and an 86. Righty against righty. That's an out. And let's just make sure. Yep. Righty batter against righty. Okay, and we're going to look what kind of an out. He's an RP. That's a pop-up to the shortstop. No error on that. All right, and next is Slater, Austin Slater. He's a right-handed hitter. Here's a pitch. It's a 3, so that is off Gratterall. And a 57 will be an out, kind of an out RN. And that is a ball hit right back to the mound, picked up by, it's an error 410, and his error rating is a 0, so he makes the play, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Gratterall. And we move to the top of the 9th, 2-2 all here, playing Statis Pro Baseball. It's going to be, let's see, Trey Turner, Justin Turner, and Will Smith coming up against Dominic Leone, who already pitched 1 inning. Really, to be realistic, you don't pitch more than 1 inning, so we're going to kind of replace Leone here. Let's do that. We'll be right back. Hey, all right, we're continuing this game. It's 2-2, bottom of the 9th inning. It's Blake Treinen on the mound for the Dodgers, and he's the 5th pitcher we've used so far. It's an inning basically. If you look at their stats, their year-long stats, that's how they use a pitcher nowadays, just 1 inning. It's unusual that you see a guy with any more than that. I think I saw 1. I forget what team he was on. So it's going to be Posey leading off against Blake Treinen. Treinen with a 4 pitcher reduction. And let's pull a card for Posey. We're in the bottom of the 9th. After this inning, we'll reshuffle. That's going to be a CD. There's nobody on, so we do that again. It's a 9. Buster's a righty, and this is 1 beyond Blake Treinen's card. So we're going to look at Posey's card. Treinen's a righty, and that's going to be a 23, and that is lined into the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall, and Posey digging for 2. Here's a throw, not in time. So it's a leadoff double for Buster Posey. He's on at second base. He does not have good speed, so we're going to get a pinch runner in there for him. Let's see who we're going to get. It is the bottom of the 9th. This is game 2, by the way. I'm replaying game 2. I've been doing it for about 3 days because I've been playing innings during commercials. So learning the players and then playing innings during commercials. Who can we get to pinch run here? That's going to be a challenge for me to figure that out. Let's see. Oh, we got a Brandon Belt. He is in. Oh, I don't even know if he's available. I don't think he's on the roster. Talkman is pretty fast. Jastrzemski. I don't even know. You know what? We're not even going to bring in a pinch runner, because I don't really know their team that well to know who would pinch run at this point. So I'm just going to use Posey. And just hope for the best. Here's Wilmer Flores, one of my favorite players. He's a longtime Met. Very popular at Citi Field. And he's going to bat against Blake Treinen. Let's do it. So we're going to subtract 1 from his pitcher reduction. And that double was off the batter card. So we're going to pull for an error. See if there was an error on that. No error. And here's just Wilmer Flores. Let's do it. A 7. That's going to be off of Treinen. And Flores is an RP, and an RP will be, it's a service ball. It's a 73. That's an out. And then he's an RP. What kind of an out? It's going to be a line out to third base, L5. So Flores hits it on the screws, but right at the third baseman, Justin Turner. And here's Brandon Crawford. Blake Treinen to Brandon Crawford with the winning run at second base. Here in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's a 2-2 game. This is playoff game 2 between the 2021 Dodgers and 2021 Giants. It's a 7. He's a lefty. That's going to be off Treinen. And a 25 off Treinen. And that is a strikeout. So Crawford swings and misses at a Treinen slider. And here's Evan Longoria. Here's a pitch. It is going to be it's a BD clutch batting. And clutch batting, we're going to read off so we're looking for something low, 11 to 28 or 31 to 45. And this game is over. So clutch batting for Evan Longoria. And let's see what happens. It's a 16, and that's going to be lined over the center fielder's head. And that's going to be a double. And the ball game is over. Could have made it a single, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Posey scores easily, And the ball game is over. The Giants win it by a score of 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Couldn't ask for a better game to replay on the tabletop. 1 run. We can make that a single. We'll make that a single. It's an RBI single for Longoria. And the ball game is over. He drives at number 4. So Longoria is the hero. He gets mobbed. And the Giants win it by a score of 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth. How many hits for the Dodgers? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits for the Dodgers. And no errors. I don't think. Let's see. I don't think, no. Neither team had any errors in this game. And the Giants had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. So it was basically a pitcher's duel. Trent is going to get the loss. He goes 0.2. He gets the loss here. The win is going to go to Doval, who pitched in the the top of the ninth inning. And it's Giants 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Dodgers 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. And this is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, Status Pro. Take care.